I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Saturday, May the 13th races at Hastings. We do have 7 races on tap. Fillies and Mares are in the spotlight.
Yeah, that's right. 2 stakes this weekend.
Horse of the Year, Snuggles back in action.
Yep.
With Rico Walcott aboard. So going to be a lot of fun to watch her back on the track as she looks to try and be back-to-back Horse of the Years. But big season for Snuggles last year. We'll get our first chance to see her today.
Yeah, and I mean, she's obviously very live in here. I've gone to a filly that has a start, but the fact that she's already beaten older mares last year in the Ballerina, she's got to fire a big shot. Impressive year she had last year. Of course, we do have the girls running today, and then the boys stake on Sunday. Yeah. 7 races for the Saturday card.
Get into it.
Let's get right into it. First race on tap is an $8,000 non-3 event for older colts and geldings. We do have 6 lined up for this, going 6.5 furlongs. I landed on the 4 here, Cowboy Phil. He'd been running for much higher throughout his career, and he started out this year at the bottom, so I know it was a 4 non-2 event, but just got there by a nose, but he ran into a tough horse, Kona Silence, who I like as well. I just don't see a lot of speed in here. He's got a race under his belt. He's got the back class. I think he moves up off of that race, and Enrique Gonzalez sticks with him. Him and Phil, great guns so far this season. Top connections. I got Cowboy Phil on top. I've crossed the line for Rob Maben. He comes out of a tough race, and I like the fact that he's got a race under his belt. I'm going to say that a lot throughout these 2 shows. The horses that have been racing have a big advantage. And the fact that he's got a race under his belt, it was a good 4th. Only got beat a length and a half behind a well-meant Samilkami Luke, Indy Racer, Ace Deuce. That was a decent field that he ran into. I got him in the 2nd. I put Tizagogo, another one that had winter racing, has a start under his belt. That was at the $16,000 level. Ran to Omega Victory, Mighty Mesa, Ebony Warrior. Those are some decent horses. Yeah, I went 4-6-3.
Yeah, I went to the 6-horse cross the line. I think this is a drop down in class. It does say 4,000 first time out, but that's an open 4.
That's a wide open. This is non-3.
This is non-3, getting into a restricted race. So I thought Cross the Line's performance was really good. Samilkami Luke got loose on the head end, ran a big race, and ran away and hid. This horse was in a 3-way photo for 2nd, ended up 4th. So for betting purposes, that's good. I mean, because if this horse would have been 2nd by that margin, the odds would be quite a bit obviously lower, but 4th is good. Cross the line just missed and was running very well at the end of the race. The 6.5 will suit him too. 6 furlongs, pardon me, was a little short for Cross the Line. But the 1-horse Fear of the Cat, I didn't know what to do with. Just running against running against 3-year-olds last year. This is a freshly turned 4-year-old. How he stacks up, I'm not sure, but at least he's at a reduced level here for 8,000. I put this one in for 2nd. Talented apprentice Jose Asensio gets the call, and I put the 4 Cowboy Phil, of course. I was just a little concerned he had to struggle to win. He was game in winning, but he did run into Kona Silence, and there wasn't a whole lot behind him after that, so I just was a little concerned. But a lot tougher in here. Honorable mention to the 5 Blue Storm Cloud. Lots of trouble last time. This horse will be better, but I do like the 6 Cross the Line. 6-1-4 in the Saturday Open Auto Race number 2. $4,000 claimers. Not only is a 2 lifetime. Going 6.5 furlongs. The 2-horse, as we mentioned, Kona Silence, just missed the Cowboy Phil.
Yeah, so this is a great. You get to watch Cowboy Phil in the first race. If he gins,
then this horse is pretty live in a 9-2-4. It's between the 2 and the 3. I think they're head and shoulders above the field. It's anyone for 3rd after that. But I went Kona Silence, got the race under his belt. Stormy Team was in and was scratched. Must have been a little issue, but still the horses come back to work in 101 and change. Had been working very nicely. Gets leading rider Richard Ham, last year's leading rider. So 2-3 for me, 3-2. Didn't matter. And I put the 1-horse Cruise Dancer, who's always kind of an honest horse, in for 3rd. I went 2-3-1.
I'm with you. And it is a coin toss with Kona Silence or Stormy Team, but I'm with you. I went to the horse who's had a start. That's a big advantage right now. With Stormy Team, not much to add. Those are the 2 horses, in any pick 3 tickets or daily double tickets that you're going to do. I would have both of them. And I put Feel No Shame, the Rob Maben horse in 3rd. Rob's off to a great start. One of my favorite people down there. Yeah, this horse has an out too.
He's a cool dude.
He comes out of the same race, Cowboy Phil, Kona Silence, and Cruise Dancer, but I took the edge. Gave the edge, slight edge to Feel No Shame. I think he'll improve with a race under his belt. He's had a decent year last year. 2, 3, 4 for me in the 2nd. On to the 3rd.
Good race. You get some good races.
$25,000 claiming event for fillies and mares. This is a good race. And I've got a horse. She's going to be a bit of a price. Comes out of a very live barn, Tinderette, out of the Rob Gilker barn. Had been running down in the Southern California circuit. Went over to his friend Steve Henson.
Was bought in the sale. Was the Hastings?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
sale.
that's right. Sorry, this
horse was purchased by Nick Kolkick for Rob Gilker.
That's right.
Actually, the purchase price was $20,000.
$20,000. There you go. A horse that's been running, and Rob has had success buying out of that sale, as we know last year.
Victorous
with
Victorous did pretty good.
Won the Oaks, but this is one that's been running and on form. Do I think she's as good as Sabrina? Maybe not. Sabrina's got a lot of back class to her, but she's been running, and that's what I love about Tinderette. As we've seen the few opening weeks, his horses that are race fit are really dangerous, and she's got a nice work coming to this, 1 minute and 3/5. So I'm going to give a slight edge. I like some of the races in the past. You know, she can stalk and come from off it. That's what I'd like to see in here. Got Tinderette on top of Sabrina in second, who's definitely the class of the field and should be a handful. She's going to be the speed. I'm hoping the Tinderette can run her down. And I put Hippie in for third. A newly turned 4-year-old, but she had a very good year last year. Running against tough fillies, you know, running against stablemates like Snuggles and Chianti. And I think that she's got a nice closing style. We've seen that in the past. And with a fair bit of speed in here, I look for her to come running late. I went 5-2-6.
This is a race I had no clue what to do.
Yeah.
I've picked two of them that you don't even have in the top three, and your top two I don't have at all, or top two, or first and third of yours I don't have at all. But I went to the 4 SL Express. I'm going to try and make a case for her abbreviated season last year. She ran with some pretty nice horses. Dear Lily, Amber Moon. Those are way better mares than she's running against today. Well, not way better, but Sabrina and Docilina have nice resumes. The other ones still have to be proven here at Hastings against older mares. But SL Express has been training well. It's been moved to the Greg Tracy barn in mid-spring. Romario Saunders has done a lot of work for Greg, so it's not surprising he gets a bit of a shot here on the mare SL Express. And so I'm going to try her to win it. She has speed. She can stalk. She can do a lot of things. She can go to the front if the pace is slow. She can come from off it if the pace is fast. I just like her versatility. I'm going to try her to win it. Like Sabrina, she's dangerous. You can't leave out this horse. You know, it can run protected. $425,000 here is not in for the price. You know, it has a lot of works, then cut back to a half. It looks like there might have been a little hiccup in there, or maybe just waiting for a race to go. But Sabrina, her best race last year was at, you know, she'd been running at Emerald 2 years ago, but her best, you know, her last year was a little tough. You know, it's kind of a tough season to forget. Running in a couple of stakes, sprints, you know, with her. You know, those are tough mares.
And she went to the sidelines in June, so something obviously went amiss.
Right, and she's not starting in a stake now. She's starting in a 25,000 claimer, and where she can be the inside speed. And Richard Hamill will definitely have her there. And Sabrina's dangerous. Number 3, Docilina is another one that just had a tough couple of years. No wins the last 2 years. Abbreviated campaigns in both of them, but she can get back to that 214 form, and she's as good as anyone in here. But yeah, I left out Tinderette. Probably a mistake. This horse is the only one that's raced this year, and
that's what I like about her. It's not necessarily. I mean, she was getting beat in allowance races at Phoenix, and you know, kind of beat soundly. But she's got some back class, and just the fact that she's been running. That's what I like about her.
Yep. I went 4, 2, and 3 in race number 3. A very tough one, as we both agree. Even though there's only 6 of them signed on, just one of those tough. You can't get a good grasp on what you know. You can't pinpoint anything, which is a little tough. Those races occur once in a while. On to the 4th race. $4,000 claimers here, going 6.5 furlongs. I'm going to pinpoint the one horse. Samilkameen Joey. Looks like he's going to get the lead. He's the horse to beat, hands down. Been working well for Bill Connick Jr. In the Black Label stable. He'll be your favorite. He should be very tough to beat on the head end. But the 6 horse Ambidextrous Duke, and I always like this guy. He's pretty versatile. He can route, he can sprint, come from off it and go to the lead. He is
a cool little guy.
He is a nice horse that you don't need a particular scenario to make him a winner. He can adapt to things, which you'll win a lot more races when you can adapt to situations and still run your A race. Amadeo Perez will ride, and the 3 horse, 1,500. I thought he exits a pretty live race. Cedarburg, Samilkameen Luke, and Lassie's Reward. Both Samilkameen Luke and Lassie's Reward came back to win. That's a pretty live dash. I thought the 11-year-old there, shook a little rust off and ran a better than looked race, and he'll be tough second time out. 163.
He did. He was very wide turning for home too.
Yeah.
It seemed like he kind of got shuffled out, but he's making a move, and that's why I've gone to Lauren 500.
163, yeah.
I like the fact that he's got the race under his belt. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a huge move for him. Rob Maben having a very good year, and he's got the back class. As we talked about last time he ran 2 weeks ago, he starts out at the bottom this year. Now he's got the race under him, and I expect him to take a big step forward. So Milkameen Joey is going to be a handful, but he hasn't run, and that's what I'm hoping. The Lauren 500 could sit right off. I want Enrique Gonzalez to get this guy involved early.
Sit second. If he can sit second, then you got a shot. Well, he's going to outfoot Bluegrass Man and Mark. Whoever wins the battle to lay second to Milkameen Joey will
has
have
a
the
big
best
shot. Or,
chance to beat him.
Or if like Bluegrass Man goes right with him, he could sit behind him. Then he's vulnerable. But I want Lauren 500 to be involved early because that's when he runs his best races.
Right.
And I think he will be. That's why I got Lauren 500 on top of Milkameen Joey, the obvious choice as you mentioned. This guy's been working lights out. Minute and 1 tick. He's on his game.
He's looked good. I've seen him in the morning.
Yeah.
He's ready to roll.
Bill Connick does a good job. He's going to be ready to roll.
It's 6.5 though.
And I put Ambidextrous Duke in the third spot, as you mentioned. This is very
honest. He's an honest horse.
Super honest horse that is versatile. And another one's been working forwardly. 59-1, 48-2. Nice. He's on his toes. He's ready.
Johnny Morrison gets him ready.
He certainly does, and he's done a great job with those guys over the past few years. 3-1-6 for me in the fourth. On to the fifth, Fillies and Mares Maiden, $4,000 event. Field of 10. And I went to the 2, Cambries Bear, part of the package that Greg Tracy bought out of the fairgrounds, and we've seen some of these things come out running. Jazz Lady last weekend looked super impressive. Was running for Maiden 12.5. Those were state-bred races, so aren't the best races, but she has been having some tough luck. Bumped at the break, off a bit slow, runs second, only beaten a half length. 4 wide in the turn, gets beat 4 lengths. Hesitated at the break, 5 wide the turn in her last race. Now she's come here. I'm sure Greg's done a great job. He's off to a firecracker start, 5-19. Romario Saunders, as you mentioned, been doing a lot of work for him. He's given him a crack on these horses. And I think Cambries Bear ends up winning this with a fitness edge and obviously a fair bit of talent. I put Discreet Country in the second spot. Word around the campfire is this horse may be scratched, but...
no, he is. She's scratched.
She's scratched. So I'll change. I'll go Proudly Noticed I put in the second spot. The Jody Rawson barn. Good third behind Velvet Rose and Discreet Country in that first race of the year, the Maiden 4. That's a pretty live race. That's why I like Discreet Country. Velvet Rose shows up in a allowance race on Sunday. Who will I put in for third? Miss Mariah, Glenn Todd, Liz Stolzenberg horse, David Lopez. David Lopez, talk about off to a great start. David Lopez having a great year. Betting 27% right now. And this is a filly they had running for much higher throughout last year, trying maiden special weights and maiden 25s. Starts out this year, the $4,000 level for Liz Stolzenberg, who's on fire. So my new numbers are 2, 1, 4 in the fifth.
Yeah, I'm going to try the 8-horse Flaming Youth. I'm sticking to the 4-year-olds here. Flaming Youth, sometimes barns at the end of the year have a lot of maidens that are still maidens, obviously. And this one, unfortunately, had run against the boys in her last couple of maiden races and performed admirably. And she didn't really want to go long. She ran second long once. And but I thought her sprint races that sprint race against the mares, against Touch of Green, and defeated Joe at all. I thought it was a very good race. And her next start was long, and she ran, her next start, ran terribly, and then ran second going long. Then ran against the boys in her last 2 starts. She's been training well this spring. The scratch of the 10 definitely helps. Ruben Lara has been working this horse in the morning, so he's going to get a shot on Flaming Youth. I just take a little bit of a shot with her. But the 1 horse Proudly Noticed was closing like a rocket in her first up run for Jody Rawson. This horse was really gobbling up ground behind Velvet Rose and Discreet Country. Just got to stay a little bit closer to the pace, and at least gets extra half a furlong to work with as well. I put the 4 horse Miss Mariah. I was between Miss Mariah and the 2 Cambry Bears for third, but I'll try 8, 1, and 4 in this afternoon's fifth. On to the 6th race. This is the Vancouver Sun for fillies and mares, going 6.5 furlongs. Their final chance to sprint before they start stretching out, and I know the 1 Touching Promise and the 2 Snuggles will be far more excited when they get it going a mile on the 16th as opposed to this sprint distance. Even Castellani probably a little better sprinting. I'm going to go to Snuggles. She had a minor setback, which is why she did not run in the opening stake. in the Big House Bells that Dear Lily won. She was nominated, just didn't enter, and but didn't miss much time. She's come back to work a couple of times and has been right on cue. Rico Walcott's being flown out again to ride her. He was, of course, 5 for 6 on her, just the one blemish, a narrow defeat to Victress, and still in the BC Oaks, but still Snuggles.
Yeah, horse of the year, a very deserving horse of the year last year.
No, she did everything right.
What a great year.
What a Dino and his staff did a great job with Snuggles.
Never been worse than second. Look at that, 10, 6, and 4. I mean, that's
just a nice,
impressive.
consistent mare that just is filly, pardon me, that continues to run big races. I put the 7 Dear Lily in for second. Obviously, horse that can win because she's got the race under her belt. Both the 1 and 2 want to run long, and this could be her day to get another stake win. And she looked good defeating, a lot easier crew in Chianti and Castellani and Ciudad Eau Claire. I mean, this race has come up much tougher with a couple of champions in there in the lineup this time. But Dear Lily still must be rich. She's just a nice. She is. You don't win half your starts, for no reason. She knows how to win races, and she'll make the inside 2 horses run if they're going to beat her. I know that. And I put Touching Promise in for third. Not at her best sprinting, but actually her first couple of sprints last year were against Arabella's Muse and Avadiva, both mares that would be favored in this race today. This race has come up a lot easier. But
depending on what 4-year-old Snuggles has to say about it.
Yeah,
but I know what you mean.
Right, she's kind of being rushed into the race. I mean, she wasn't brought in early. I can tell you she wasn't brought in early this spring. The idea is always to get her routing and win the ballerina.
Yeah,
win races in the fall, and you don't
that's her goal.
Crunch her for the to try and bring her in early to win sprints, and she'll run a race. I mean, if they don't go in 16 and 2 or something, then she'll be right there. But I have a feeling Snuggles will be pretty light. I went 2, 7, and 1, but those are my 3.
Yeah, this is a race. I mean, there's a lot of fillies you can make a case for in here. I went with Dear Lily just because.
Yeah, she's running.
And I love Snuggles. I was all over Snuggles last year, but I went with Dear Lily because she's been running, and the other, obviously the classier fillies in here are Snuggles, as you mentioned, the 2 with trophies in their case at home. Snuggles and Touching Promise have not yet started, and that's why I think Dear Lily can do it again. She's also very good in the mud, and as of taping, I can hear the rain actually pounding on the roof here. I think it's going to be a muddy track this week.
I hope it clears up.
I'm going
Touching Promise good in the mud.
Yeah, she is good in the mud.
That'll move her up.
But not, I mean.
Not a sprinter.
She's 6 of 9. She's 6 of 9 in the money.
But
sprinting.
She broke her maiden sprinting. These aren't stakes sprints, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
still, her last 2 sprints last year were pretty good.
She runs good, but I'm going to get to her later on in the meet. I'm going with Dear Lily on top of Snuggles, has to be respected. Another one, she's, what has she got? 2 starts in the mud, a first and a second to show for it. Very classy filly. I love this filly. But Dear Lily's been running. I think that Dear Lily can, just with the fitness edge, will win this over Snuggles. And I put Ciudad Eau Claire, a question mark, just fell apart. Ran 6th last time, but they wheel her right back in the next stake. Richard Hamill sticks with her. Greg Tracy, they've added blinkers. Greg Tracy's having a very strong meet, so I'm going to give her a shot. This is her game, sprinting. She's 3 for 4 at the distance. They're trying to one more time, another sprint. If she's anything, if there's nothing terribly gone wrong, and she's back to a little bit of her old self, and she trains well coming into this, which it looks like she did, to come back and worked in a minute flat, then she should be dangerous. In a 6.5 for a long race.
She's going to be out there winging.
She's going to be gone. Yeah, she's going to try to be gone. So I went 7, 2, and 4 in the Vancouver Sun. On to the 7th and final. Only 7 on Saturday. You get home early. Maiden 25 event for 3-year-olds and up. As you can see, I like a few horses in here. I couldn't really decide. I got a lot of marks.
Yeah.
Jumped around, landed on the 1, the 4-year-old Sanawar for the Ryan Nugent Hopkins stable. As of taping, too bad for Ryan. Knocked out in the 7th game last night. Brutal. So maybe we'll see him there on Sunday to watch Saturday, to watch Sanawar. What I like about this guy, and I mentioned last week, I'm always a little shy with Barb first thing early on, because I know she's not have him cranked up, ready to go first out. She's more, looking at places down the road, like with Touch and Promise, look at the ballerina. But this guy ran a great race, first out for maiden 25 last year against a nice horse, Colterbury. Look at his company lines. He was running against tough horses. I just love the way he came off the bench last year. That minute 4/5 tells me he's ready. He's a 4-year-old running against 3-year-olds. He attracts Enrique Gonzalez. Sanawar for me on top of Catch Me. I put in the 2nd spot. Mark's horse is running this year, and this one's unlucky, I should say, to still be a maiden. Last 2 times she ran as a,
good second.
He ran, as a 2-year-old. 2 seconds behind Blur's Final Command and Salzburg, who we both like tomorrow. And put Kelson, Liz Stolzenberg, and Glenn Todd are off to a very good start, as David Lopez. And this guy only got beat 3 lengths in the Futurity last year, so he deserves some respect in here. 1, 2, 3 for me.
Yeah, I agree with the one, Sanawar. I think the 4-year-old, it's a big edge to run against a bunch of 3-year-olds, and he has to pay the penalty.
Especially when
a lot of weight.
Like beginning of May,
right?
Yeah.
But I like Sanawar. If the rail doesn't get him, well, actually 6 furlongs, it's going to help him. But Sanawar should be in position and be pretty tough to beat. He runs any of his sprints last year. It's better than most of these freshly turned 3-year-olds. I put the 3 Kelson. His speed makes him dangerous. He did lose for Maiden 16. Which race do you want to look at? The one he lost for 16 or the
beating 3 lengths in the Futurity?
You can, that's the thing. There's not a lot of, I don't know. Kelson for
Barnes
me.
off to a good start, so.
Yep. And I put the 8 Brother Rod, who I've kind of been a fan of even last year. He's run a couple of good races.
He ran 3 times. You picked him to win.
Yeah, no,
3
the
times,
horse actually ran all good race. I know, I picked them all.
3 times.
I think everyone. I picked them in the stake, too. The horse has been working well for trainer John Morrison. He'll have this guy ready.
Yeah.
Apprentice Jose Asensio ride, so good break in the weights. And I went 1, 3, and 8. I went to Sanawar to win it to close out the Saturday program. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the Saturday, May the 13th races. Next up on screen will be a quick recap of those selections. Here are the bingo balls. Back in race number 1, I went to the 6, crossed the line, 6-1-4. Race number 2, I went to the 2, Cone of Silence, 2, 3, and 1. The Cone of Silence. That was Get Smart.
Is that what that was?
That was from, the Cone of Silence.
Cone of Silence.
He needed to talk to the chief. He had to put that stupid clear dome down. And
I'll take your word for it.
You could hear through it anyway. It was a comedy in the 60s. 2, 3, 1, race number 2. In the 3rd race, I went to the 4 SL Express, 4, 2, and 3. Race number 4, I went to the 1 Similkameen Joey, 1, 6, and 3. In the 5th race, went to the 8 Flaming Youth. Over the 1, proudly noticed the 4, pardon me, Miss Mariah. I did put the 2 there. That's a mistake. I will correct that. In the 6th race, went to the 2 Snuggles. Over the 7 Dear Lily and the 1 Touching Promise. And the 7th and final, the 1 Sanawar, 1, 3, 8. On to Drew.
There we are, back in the 1st. I went to the 4, the Speedy Cowboy Phil. I like him to repeat over the 6 and the 3. In the 2nd, I agree with Mike, Cone of Silence. It's between Cone of Silence and Stormy T. And best bets of the day, if there is such a thing. It's going to be one of those 2. 2, 3, 4 for me in the 2nd. In the 3rd, I went to the Fit, number 5, Tinderette, over the 2 Sabrina and the 6 Hippie. In the 4th, I went to the Classy Old Boy, number 3, Lauren 500, over the 1 and the 6. In the 5th, another Fit horse, Cambry's Bear. The 2 over the, 1 and 3, because the 10 is a scratch.
We'll change those. I know as of taping, we'll get those corrected on the website.
2, 1, 3 for me. In the Vancouver Sun, the girls' stake, I went to the 7 Dear Lily. Slight edge to the fitness advantage, I'd say, over the very classy number 2 Snuggles. And the 4 Cedar Clare, I'm going to give her another shot. And the nightcap, I agree with Mike, number 1 Sanawar, over the 2 and the 3.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the show. And as a quick recap of the Derby, it was an exciting Derby. Todd Pletcher's always dreaming with Johnny Velasquez. Big performance, so winning off by a couple lengths. Big run from your Langara Lass.
Yes,
connections
locally
with your dad.
Bred Langara.
Looking at Lee, who out of Langara Lass ran 2nd in the Derby, and hopefully those 2 make their way to Maryland.
Apparently, Looking at Lee is going to go try him again.
Always Dreaming, Steffing.
Always Dreaming's running for sure, and Looking at Lee is going to try and run him down again in the Preakness. Of course, that will be next Saturday.
Saturday, May the 20th, and we have a Saturday, Monday program next weekend. It's Saturday, May the 20th, and then Monday. For live racing, Victoria Day, May the 22nd, Queenie Day. Yep. So a little change in the schedule next weekend. It'll be a Saturday, Monday weekend. But our next live card is Sunday. Of course, May the 14th. We have 8 live races on Sunday. The feature race is the George Royal for older horses sprinting. So please do join us then. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in to Handicapper's Corner, and we'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.